And when you go 838, what date is that for the banking? Because I've heard Medici's 1500s, but you're taking it further.
Well, the Medici's, so the Knights Templar, literally, right? The Knights Templar, the Illuminati.
In London, right?
In Portugal.
Right.
Invented this idea of fractional reserve banking in 11 something. And the Medici's borrowed it from them in the late 1100s. And from 1200 to like 1490s, the Medici's ran everything. It was basically Venice and Rome, and that the Medici's were in charge, and not Rome, Florence. So Venice and Florence, and so then in the 1490s, Portugal took over, and then Spanish took over, and then the Dutch took over, and then the French, and then the British, and then America. So there's been this movement, but it was literally these knights, it was amazing. They were living in castles all over Portugal, and they would go out on these quests. Not exactly nice guys necessarily. I mean, bad things were happening, but they would plunder, and they would come back with gold, and they would deposit the gold, and then they would go out on another quest, and some of them didn't come back, right? 1100s was a tough time to be alive, and some didn't come back. And so these knights said, well, we have all this gold. Why don't we lend it to these other knights and have them go do a quest, and then we'll charge interest. And so they literally invented the idea of banking. And the Medici's enhanced it by saying, all right, we'll use the gold at the main bank, but we'll also introduce double entry accounting, because back then there was only single entry accounting. And the problem with single entry accounting is I lend you money and I write down in my ledger on my papyrus tablet, because I'm old, that Brian owes me $100. You come back a year later to pay me back, and I'm going to scrupulous guy. I've changed the 100 to 200. You have no recourse, right? There's only one ledger. And so the Medici said, no, Brian, you keep a ledger, Mark, you keep a ledger, and we, the benevolent Medici's, we will make sure that the ledgers match. But here's the problem. So in the course of the year, I go to the Medici and say, guys, I'm going to change my number to 200, and I'll give you half. Okay, that works for us. So Brian comes back to pay. Mine says 200. And you're like, hey, Medici's, it's only 100. And like, Brian, you must have written the number down wrong. We're sorry. And so what we need is someone to govern the governor, right? We need someone to monitor that the banks do it right. So we create all this system. And for the most part, the banks are pretty good, except for the money laundering and all the fines they paid. Here's the crazy stat. Banks have paid more in fines for money laundering than the entire market cap of the Ethereum blockchain. It used to be more than the Bitcoin blockchain, but now Bitcoin's over $1 trillion. But they paid $500 billion of fines, right? That's not what they got away with or how much they laundered, but that's the fines. And that's a big number. And so there's this system that grew up around, look, I was on a show earlier today and someone typed in a question saying, well, the problem is fractional reserve banking. No. I'll ask people, name a country you would live in, right, that has a bad or non-functioning fractional reserve banking system. I'll wait, right? You won't, right? Because that's what makes habitable versus inhabitable. Right? Fractional reserve banking is a really good thing because it says we can collectively pool our assets and lend them to one another and grow.
Right.
That's a good thing. Where it goes wrong is when the people at the top obfuscate and over-lever, right? You can rehypothecate maybe 10, 11 times and be safe. If you get to 20 or 30 or 40, like Lehman Brothers or Deutsche Bank, that's bad. And if you're stealing, right? If somebody at the top is stealing from the depositors and, not keeping the gold in the vault like it's supposed to be, then bad things happen. But those are human problems. That's not a system problem. The fractional reserve system is actually pretty good because without it, I don't think you get enough growth for what humans want, right? Humans, we're positive, we're creative, we're energetic. And we want to build, we want to grow, we want to take risks. I mean, not all of us, but the good ones want to take risk and build new things.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.